for a young person's brain, I see, again, 3 videos in a row that say, we don't need men. Men suck. They need to apologize. What the fuck is wrong with them? In a young boy's brain, I'm like, okay, well, fuck. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man. So now what do I need to
Mm-hmm.
do? I need to step aside. I need to be docile. I need to be weak. I need to be like a fucking shadow that barely anyone can see and no one steps on. So I don't hurt anyone because men have been rapists and murderers and conquerors. So that must mean that that's me. Because that's how a young brain conceptualizes things.
Mm.
And so some of the young men are getting lucky. They're finding people like you on the internet who are going to teach them a different way, how to control, how to contain, how to become the best version of themselves while still having strength, but also being very respectful and loving, because that's part of being the warrior poet, which is basically what you are, right? Someone who's a warrior who can protect people, but also knows beauty, knows love. Like, that's an amazing thing. And so for young boys to see that, that's very challenging. And then they might go their whole life before they meet anyone who tells them any differently.
Yeah.
And that's very frightening, because even though many people say it nowadays, our society still needs men. Okay? Roads still need to be paved. Buildings still need to be made. Wars definitely still are going to need to be fought. I don't know what's happening in our current climate, but who knows what's going to happen, right? We need people to protect us. Strong leaders, not people who are, bought and sold by people, but strong in their masculine people. And if you think that our society would run smoothly without them, you just don't understand the plot. And it's very complicated, or not complicated. It's very frightening to think that there are actually people who do believe this. And so there's no real question in there, but I sort of went on a tangent. But
comments around that, yeah.
Please.
So the question I have is, so what would happen to the Earth if you remove the sun?
That's it. Done. No life.
Done. No life. It's the same thing. You can't have one without the other, right? Gaia is Mother Earth. The plants lean towards the sun. They organically know the father, right, which is the sun, which gives the nutrients. I asked my son, I said, what does the father represent? He asked me about God, right? And so we've been having these deep conversations about God. And he said, Dad, who is God? I said, well, what do you believe God is? I said, what do you think the sun does for the earth? He says, well, the sun gives photosynthesis to the earth. And I said, what does that do? He says, it gives life. And I said, well, what if the sun disappeared? He said, all the plants would die. I said, so what if the men disappeared? What if the women? He said, well, if one was not without the other, they would all die. That's why you have Adam and Eve that came together, right, from God consciousness. They eat from the tree they're not supposed to. They get out of balance, right? And all of a sudden they're self-conscious. And then they have Cain and Abel. Cant kills Abel. The son kills Abel, right? Or the two sons, they attack each other. And so we're all battling back to this God consciousness. And it's an imbalance in divine masculine and divine feminine. A lot of men don't realize when you step into your divine masculine, it allows the feminine to step into divine feminine, and it'll magnetize the men 10 times. Within our academy, the men are required to step into their divine masculine. For me, I believe it's authenticity, gratitude, and unconditional love, right? True, like just brutal authenticity. And what that does, that moves you into power, right? You have power, that's the highest level of power, is authenticity, gratitude, and unconditional love, right? And then you move into force, which America is living in right now, which pushes down into greed, jealousy, anger, competition, dog eat dog. And that puts us in hyperactivity. And then if you get depressed enough, it moves you into inactivity. And so what these powers to be, whoever they are working to push the men into hyperactivity, which causes so much excitement in their body that they eventually go into inactivity where it shuts them down, right? But if men stepped up to their true authenticity, gratitude, and unconditional love, and we worked together and cooperated, we can make this world a better place. And then if the women can step in their divine feminine, the men don't realize that it would magnetize your businesses, it would magnetize, because I just brought up the earth and the sun, right? So the earth is Gaia, mother, the creator, and the sun is manifestation. The sun gives the nutrients to the earth. You can't have the sun without the earth. You can't have the earth without the sun. And so if it goes deeper into a spiritual sense, it's like you can't have one without the other. So when you get that, that's what's happening in America. We're out of balance, and Mother Earth, whether you believe it or not, is going to rebalance, and that's what you're seeing. World War III, climate change narrative, financial narrative. Guys are buying the wrong things. They're not supporting their family. They're not investing. The middle class is getting wiped out, moving down to the working poor. And so it's a really interesting time right now. It's historical. 2024 is going to be the most historical years of our lives.